Here's a quick demo of how far we've gotten in this post. We have a list of posts and, that's it really. So watch on to figure out how we got to this point. Check this out, a few quick changes to Markdown sitegen. We now have an index on the index page, and we can click, go to the post, go back, click again, go to the other post. So how does this work? Well, we separated the parsing of the posts and the rendering of the HTML in case we eventually want to pass the posts to the posts. For now, that's not what's happening. But either way, we just append it to this list, and then we go through the list and render HTML for each of them. It also separates that logic of whether it specifies path. Eventually we can check and make sure that the date is in the future too. We can do all that all here. Then when we render the index page, we pass all the posts. Simple as that. And then in here, we can use a for loop with Jinja2. And for each post, we're just outputting a link to the post. One other change in this build directory, you'll see that each post has its own directory and just index.html inside of it. I changed that right here. And why did I do that? Well, GitHub Pages doesn't require it, but to use this Python previewer that we've been using, we need that, or else it's not going to know how to find these files. Like we'll get 404s if we type anything but the .html. So I like using the slash notation, so I just made that little tweak, and yeah, we're good. We also added support for the blog title. Check it out. Yeah, so that's on all the pages now. And it does take you back home. So how did we do that? We load a config file, and the standard that I'm going to throw down and establish is, in your example here, you have a .markdown sitegen directory, and in there you have a config YAML. Right now there's only one thing in there, but yeah. So we load that. If that's not loadable, there is a default config in the web directory that gets shipped with the package. And so if you see your website at the top instead of something that you've defined, then you know that you're getting the default config. What else? We pass in the config when rendering the post and when rendering the index. And I think that's it. Oh, here we go. We reference the config now in a couple places in base.html, and that's it. I've improved the look just a wee bit. We output the date, and you can clearly see that it's not ordered by date. So that highlights one problem. And I clicked on this post and it has a bash code snippet and a Python code snippet. I'm pleased with how it looks. It looks nice. The problem is if you inspect it, there's actually nothing indicating what language it is, even though in the source code I put, where is it? I put bash and I put Python. So might have to do a little tweaking of the rendering to make that show up in there. But yeah, so in addition to that, I mean, you can check out the commits I'm about to make. Nothing crazy, just modifying the HTML and the CSS, right? And added a few extra example posts. What is next is I just added an Obsidian repo for this, or an Obsidian Vault, which is available in the docs folder. So if you open the docs folder on this repo as an Obsidian Vault, you'll be able to see this on your side as well. And I just mentioned, I like to have roadmaps for these projects. It's what I do for the other ones too. Basic styling, check. Post list, done. Next up is sorting and limiting the posts on the index page. So we have 6 posts here. I'd like to limit it to the first 5 and sort by date. And we'll have to take this date, which is a string, and find a way to parse it and pass it in nicely. But I want to do as much as I can inside of the index.html, because when people eject and want to customize this, they're going to eject just the templates and the static files. So I want to do as much as I can in the templates, inject all the data into the templates, and then let them display it however they want. So that's what's next. If you want to get involved, join the Discord and start talking about it on the Markdown channel, or the channel for this project. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.